was in a game recently and somebody was on about why they shouldn't max mods, and I thought I'd covered this before, so I went out back and looked, and people have asked me before why I have mods like this that are sitting at, well, not maxed capacity, because if you max something like this mod, it will add to the minus side of it, which adds a huge downside. Taking away duration depends on what frame you use it for, but sometimes that extra 10% of ability strength isn't really worth that 5% loss of ability duration, so I'll just throw the lower number one in. Originally, this was more because of the cost of upgrading it. 23,000 endo is still a lot, despite having some, it's still a lot. Same as the credits were, so a lot of my mods were taken to 2 from max and just left there. The same goes for some of the primed mods, because I don't use them enough to justify actually maxing the things out, so they just kind of sit there, partly leveled. And some I didn't bother finishing, and for some reason maxed another one out. I've actually got 2 of those. Yeah, I did it with primed flow as well, because sometimes you can't fit a 14 in, so having the 12 there comes in useful. It was the same with the crit damage and the same with the point blank base damage of the shotgun. Sometimes you can't fit the 14 in, so the 12 comes in handy. That's the only reason that them 2 exist and why I have 2 of each. I do want to do the same kind of thing with primed pressure point, but I probably won't, simply because I need a spare one for sentinel weapons, and if I get a spare one I want that maxed anyway. And some things you can't do this with. You can't get a 14 or a 12 rank prime vigor, because you can only get one and they're not tradable. But with mods like this, sometimes not leveling them all the way is the way to go with them. I only have one overextend and it's maxed because every time I get one somebody else wants it and I just keep giving the damn things away. And I haven't been farming for these mods in a long time now. But something like this, increasing the range a little bit so you don't have to decrease the power strength, can be more useful than having it maxed depending on the frame that you actually put these things on. The same can be said for fleeting expertise, blind rage, because that takes away efficiency, but this adds efficiency, but if you max this out it's pretty much nullified the fact that this is even in here. Narrow-minded's the same, it decreases the range, hence you kind of need overextending, and these 4 mods kind of counter each other out. Because efficiency's nullified, well, it's not completely nullified, but it's ruined by blind rage, so fleeting expertise basically just takes duration off. This adds the duration back, but then transient fortitude takes it back off again. It's really hard to get these things to a point where they work. It's why my blind rage isn't maxed. I went for power drift instead, which basically adds the last of the power strength in, but the efficiency was not affected as much. I don't think I even have a maxed blind rage anyway. Let's see, pretty easy to find out. No, pretty sure it would have been at the end there. No, it would be under blind. Yeah, don't have a maxed one. I've got one that's lower down, which will take even less efficiency off. Nope, yes, and add a little bit more strength, and then an empty one. I don't have a max one, but I do have a transient fortitude that is partly leveled for the sake of I can just swap that round and the efficiency is going to be better, but I've lost 10% of the power strength. This is why I have mods like this. It's good to do if you can, but it's really hard to do if you really want a decent build on frames you have formatted way too much. If I max this out, the efficiency is going to be so bad that running around with World on Fire running constantly, it's going to take more power to deal a little bit more strength, and sometimes having a balanced build is a lot more important than having a powerful build completely depends on the frame you're using them on, and this is why I would strongly suggest having a maxed one and then a slightly less maxed one. But again, it just depends on the frame you're using the mods on as to whether you actually do that. Anyway, we'll leave this off here for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.